Hey, how's it going? I am starting up the streams. Today I want to try out these two things, and that's what we'll do in a second. Let me open up the stream manager on Twitch. Restream, setting this up. Thanks for tuning in. My name is Aptitude. All right, so now all the both chats are together. Cool. So let's open up Unreal Engine. And put on some music. So the two tutorials that I kind of want to follow up on. I'm basically trying to watch every every tutorial that's coming out for motion design, and these are the two recent ones I watched. It was this one. I want to take a look at this one, where he talks about setting up the cloner in a way that I haven't done yet, which they showed in the preview of Unreal Engine Avalanche. I want to do this. It's just where it's like around an object. Let's do that first. See, like this. It's a little different. So let's open the level. Let's just do a new level here. I do like starting from the motion design template. But when you start from here, like if you spawn, things are all at 0, 0 and the camera's set up so that it's pointing at your screen at 0, 0. But we can just take the background out, delete everything else. And then we could even change the background if we want. Actually, we don't even need the background for this. Do we? Whatever. Okay, so let's see the cloner. So we're in the motion design mode. We need to open up this page. Go to actors, cloner, and one thing. It's too big. A little too big. All right, hopefully you can see it like this. Okay, so click that. We can, if we double click it there, it's already comes in zeroed out. But yeah, in his tutorial, he was just playing around with this in this mode. And it was sphere uniform. That's it. Yo, Rana, been some time, man. Was kind of busy. Few things has happened. Yeah, man. Been ever since I went to Unreal Engine, it's been a bumpy like week. It's just been hard to transition. But we're here. We made it. Thanks for hanging out. Hope things are going well. For sure, man. It's all good. Hope everything's going well with you. New Blender version dropped, and literally the next day, new Maya and Max. This is it's got to be like update season. NAB is happening. Unreal Engine just came out. They had their GDC. Everybody's coming out with their updates. It's update season. After award season comes program update season. Oh, I don't know. Why? I can't see. What? Oh, it's 2K. Yeah, that's pretty expensive. Incremental improvements, man, that's what it's all about. Unless you're a massive corporation charging 2K a month or a year. In which case. Okay, well that's the basic setup. I mean, that's literally all I wanted to do was just set up this cloner to have sort of be in this orbit formation. And then I guess let's do Quixel Bridge. They're calling it and selling it as a major update. Oh, really? Well, you can't, I mean, they gotta ship something. They gotta call it something. They can't be like, well, this is... I mean, I don't know what the updates are. What's the updates? Anything? I have been... Actually, for the past 2 days, I started working on making shorts. I was actually working in DaVinci Resolve, but man, it's like a an onboarding thing. I have to get used to it. I'm like figuring out the workflow. My first short sucks, but I'm not too worried about it. I mean, it'll get better. There's some obvious mistakes that are just like fixable.
a new deformer manager to the attribute editor for deformed objects. You can now quickly access all important information, manage
Oh, that's kind of cool. That's cool because I've never seen it, like, never seen this. Makes sense. Was that motion path? It looked like a little bit more than motion paths. Node based. You know what's funny? I realized that after learning that with the motion design, this is basically not node based workflow anymore. we were going on about like, oh, it's gotta learn node based. But now I'm like, oh, back to not needing node based. Wait. I'm scared of your links. Wait, I don't get ratios anymore. What? Blueprints are node-based, and they get pretty crazy. They can go pretty hardcore node-based. Yeah. You've got wall hacks. You've got YouTube wall hacks. I mean, this stuff is not anything that I'm using right now. Open color IO, color management workflows. Yikes. Well, I mean, whatever. It doesn't need to hate. Don't need. I mean, just don't use it, right? You got a free alternative. Ah, whatever. Whatever. Like, no. Probably isn't. So, whatever. Let's get a traffic cone in here. High quality. Oh, we got several. Just high quality. We don't need super high quality. Let's see what the Blender updates are. Even though I'm not like, I haven't really been using this at all. We gotta get models. We gotta get some, download some models to bring into Blender. Doesn't Blender work with Quixel Bridge? It's integrated right away, or is it like you have to get a plug-in connector thing? Baking! Kuwahara. Just a small update. They're turning Blender into the new DaVinci Resolve. Just a small update. There's more features than combined and it's all free. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like these free softwares are really in good position for the upcoming like wave of AI-enabled developing. That's exciting. That is exciting. Whatever, I have to make cool things first in Motion Designer here, and then I have to figure out how to make a lot of DaVinci Resolve like shorts. Then I have to figure out how to, yeah, just do that for a little bit. Blender has had a video editor forever. It was supposed to be an all-in-one 3D creation tool. Everything from modeling, sculpting, UV, rigging, animation, texture, painting, shading, lighting, FX sim, rendering, compositing, video editing, motion tracking, 2D animation. All in one. How do I get these things pointing out? If I don't orient and I just point them. Is it this rotation? Oh. The grease pencil, yeah, I'm not looking at the grease pencil. I know. It's awesome. I know. Okay. What is grease pencil? Is it like hand animation? Is it not? No, it is. It's 3D, right? You're drawing in 3D, which is different than every. Oh. It's awesome. Oh. Yeah, that's that's how I feel. Like, this is awesome, but it is not my thing. I'm trying to pick my battles. I think motion design. I think I can make some cool stuff with motion design here. I think I can do VFX and make some cool stuff in DaVinci Resolve. But I gotta make some cool stuff now, you know? Can't get distracted by these greasy pencils. It is cool though. I'm curious, what's the workflow with this? You have like a stylus? it's drawing, but in 3D. And then there's like animation. Oh yeah, just regular animation, or is it like onion skinning and stuff like that? Okay, now I'm interested. Okay, now we must learn this. No. Okay, back to our dark room. After watching that, it makes me just want to like just turn up the brightness of everything. Okay, much better. That's what we're missing, is color. But how do we get this, our thing here? How do we get it to rotate out? Our cloner, force update, enabled. Orient mesh. You said this. Huh. This is something. Step. Oh, there we go. Oh. Is it behind me? Can you not? You can't really see. Oh, it's this. The whole vibe. Oh, I know this one. I watched this one. This is amazing. I can't watch that now though. But yeah, that one's awesome. soon. I gotta figure out how to turn these cones so that they face out first. But we'll be making stuff like that soon. After we get these cones to face out properly. Like a porcupine. Yeah. Oh yeah, there's some dude on YouTube who makes tutorials for Unreal Engine about setting up like car rigs and animating that. I'd maybe check that out. That's wild. Is that like a I think that's a plugin that makes everything kind of like fly in like that. I've seen that, and I don't know how. Actually, we could do that. Actually, that's the next thing I wanted to mess around with in this. Here, check this out. Let's open up the next part. I'm gonna save this. Let's hop it back into our donut level. Yeah, we can do that in Unreal Engine Motion Design. All right, let's hop out of this. There's our donuts. We got our effector. But before we do that, I wanted to try this thing where we have a let me just try and set this up. 3D shape, no, cloner, and cloner is gonna be reset the rotation. But the cloner basically is just, let's make them a bunch small cubes, 25, 25, 25, and make it a whole bunch, like 50 by 50 by 50. No, not that much. That's too many. One. Spacing is 75. Okay, anyways, so the idea is that you bring in a material. Photoshop. That you can, so like in Photoshop, you just make something like a white text on a black background, and then you can use this as the offset for this cloner. That's the idea. You've also been making some orchestral music. Are you serious? What is this? Making a whole album in one MIDI in one MIDI file, yeah. Yeah. You saw the thing I was working on the other day, right? There's like a lot of different layers. Stacked melodies. Or did you see that one? No, I had... Oh wait, maybe I didn't play that. Here, let me try and set this up, and then we could jump into that Ableton file, because it's kind of cool. Donut. Here it is. There it is. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. We got... Okay, wait. Oh, where'd it go? What happened? I clicked the button wrong. Come back. Donuts. Okay, we'll try that again. Oh, it's over here. Okay, now look, check this out. We're gonna put donuts in here, and it's gonna be the word donut spelled out in donuts. Yes. Yes. We spelled donuts with donuts. Yes. The texture constraint, and then you can bring in, you can make this in like Photoshop, white text on black, and that's it. Did I use Winamp? Yes. Yes, I did. Okay, we broke it. How was Winamp? Winamp was like, I mean, that was like the music player before Spotify. It was awesome. Everybody used to make like customized players. So you'd always try and get like the coolest looking one. Let me see if I could find like some crazy looking. Here we go. See, greatest of all time. Looks like. Look at that artistry. Funny. Okay, well these are the two things that I wanted to do today in Unreal Engine. Just figure out how to get this texture to load and make some donuts out of donuts. Wait. Oh, we lost it again. Oh wait, what? The icing is on the bottom though. We gotta flip these. We gotta flip the donuts. How are we gonna do that? That's too difficult. Oh, okay. Oh, but now it says... No. Now it just says it on the wrong way, though. Who made... Wait, who made Winamp? Justin Frankel? And Dmitry Belderev by their company Nullsoft, which was later sold to AOL. Who? Which one? Justin? He's an American computer programmer, best known for Winamp. Ah, oh, okay. He made Reaper. Oh my god, okay. Wait. I gotta flip these donuts another way. And then I want to show you something in Ableton. Okay, how do I just flip these real quick? Step? I think it's step. Step. Yep, that's it. Okay, cool. Sort of. That's kind of it. What is it? What am I looking at? Wait. DAW performance M1 Pro versus M2. Okay, so on Mac. I don't use Mac. I'm not on a Mac, but I don't. You know, it's like I'm so unclear about like actual performance of computers these days. It's all the marketing. Hard to like actually gauge like how good is, because when M3 came out, I was like, heard it was just like the best thing in the whole world ever, and then I don't know. And like at the same time, I'm pretty happy with my my PC nowadays. And then Unreal Engine also just said they like boosted performance with this update by like 25%. I don't know what all this stuff means. It just means they're like, everything's getting better, everything's getting faster. It's awesome. Reaper devs were better than Apple devs at utilizing their hardware. Check out the M3 performance of Reaper versus other DAWs. I don't even... Is this Reaper? I'm guessing it's the most cyberpunky looking one. Oh, okay. I don't know what these numbers mean though. Just arbitrary 100 to 5. On a scale from 0 to 100, the M3P got a 105. It's off the charts. According to this, Ableton's the worst, which we all know is just incorrect. It's the best. So these are flipped enough. Progress. I want to show you something in Ableton. That's all for Unreal Engine for now. It's not really orchestral, it's the closest thing. You're talking about orchestral. Here, how do I make this? Options, preferences, look and feel. No. Uh-oh. I forget how to make this zoom display, that's it. There we go. Yeah, 120. Yeah, 120. Wait, where's the music? Alright. Okay, this is a departure from the music we were just listening to, but this was something, when you showed me that MIDI track, I wanted to, this is like the craziest MIDI track that I've made. Nope. Yeah, okay. So this is like a pretty nuts MIDI track. But I need to work on it because it's all like on the whole note. I don't know. This was just like a sketch packet I was playing around with. Let's slow it down. I gotta mess with these though. Sounds like a racing game. Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely not orchestral. You know what the thing is though? Like they're using really nice plugins, aren't they? If you tell me this is the stock Reaper plugin, I'll be oh, it's the plugins, right? That's the thing, like the orchestral plugins are so expensive, the good ones. Orchestral, they have so there's a guy named AU5, and he is like he's my favorite. He also has a course, like his music production skills are insane, but he's like a wizard when it comes to these plugins and like programming the synths. He does have a course. I'm thinking about getting it at some point. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I put the music production stuff on pause and I'd like to bring it back together with like motion graphics, motion design, and DaVinci Resolve. If you're, dude, I know I'm done with sound design. I used to play around and like find different sounds and have a lot of fun getting lost and then, you know, discovering some sort of unique, weird thing that I like. However, it just takes so much time. And now I like Splice. If you get the Splice membership, you can get their presets. I have Serum, and you can purchase. You like download the sample packs. I mean, that's where I'm at. And then think about like the composition or like the whole song, rather than getting lost in the weeds with like discovering a little sound. But for some people, I mean, that's the whole point, is they like doing that, and that's really each their own. Splice has a problem that it's too popular. Yeah. Whatever. 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 I don't know. I don't know what that means. The sounds are too good. No. I want to make, you know, I'm gonna make some more music. I want it to be heard by more people. And like, if I go in and mess around with Serum, if I watch those video tutorials, if I learn about it, I know I'll be able to pick up a lot. But like, I don't know. I feel like these presets. Just go with presets for now. I was watching a video where people got in trouble for using the same sounds in different songs. Like, it's so popular, people are using the same sounds. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know about that. I don't know. It's part of it. Like, creating a whole... Even though there's like a sound that maybe is like the catchy element, it's still not easy to just create a fleshed out song that's popular. And so like, yeah, there might be some sound copying.
Today's video was made possible.
I think there's a whole lot that goes on beneath that.
Possible by my patrons. Not only do they get cool exclusive stuff, they make it possible for me to make content like this and absolutely breaking my brain. If you who owns the song? At this point, I actually don't know anymore, and after pretty exhaustively researching this for the last couple of weeks, I'm walking away from all this significantly more takedown video on Splice or anything like that. I love services like a few kick drum end up stuck in copyright hell. Thirdly, I am a professional musician, I'm a professional sound designer, and I'm a pretty... This video is not going to be able to... of them could give me a clear-cut answer. Sampling is pretty simple, but it's also pretty complicated. Sampling is fairly straightforward, and there are rights and royalties for that in your song. You can sample it. Then, however, it's important to understand that you do not own those sounds. You own a license to use them in your music. These are what we would call royalty-free sound, and this is the cornerstone of all these sample subscription services and basically a weirder case of what I would call the public sample pool. These are samples that are so common and so iconic that enforcing any kind of royalty collection on any of these would just be impossible. Things like the Amen break, samples from popular memes, the chop snare, or the Fairlight Orchestra hit have become so deeply ingrained into music culture that there's no reasonable way to enforce or collect royalties or establish rights to the use of these samples. So in a weird way, they sort of become public and part of what music is today. And with services like Splice offering artists convenient access to millions and millions of royalty-free samples, it's more popular and arguably more important than ever. It would, like other songs, or read the song produced today that doesn't use samples to some extent than a song that does. But after a certain point, who owns the sample? Flipping back into legal mode here, we need to talk about how the idea of ownership is determined in music. I'm sure you've all seen those videos of songs that sound like other songs, or read the articles about court cases where big bands have gone to court over songs they wrote and some smaller band claims that they wrote it 20 years ago and all that kind of stuff. But this is where things get really subjective and really complicated and really messy really quick. So for the sake of time, my own sanity, and me not being a music lawyer, we're just going to skim over the key points you need to understand here. There are certain aspects of a song that can't be copyrighted. This would be things like chords, rhythm, time signatures, tempo, or fragments of lyrics. These just can't be considered intellectual property within reason, or it's disputed. There are two key factors to prove: access and substantial similarity. Unfortunately, like other legal stuff, this once again gets really complicated really quick and really just comes down to argument rather than cut and dry facts. In short, access means that the defendant heard or could be presumed to have heard the plaintiff's song before infringing on the song. Substantial similarity, on the other hand, is basically whether or not the average listener could tell that one song is the same as another. This is where things get complicated. Fat stacks while they sit there and argue. So this now brings us back to the Splice problem. If you sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and the alphabet back to back, you'll notice something interesting. They're the same melody. There's a little bit of a rhythmic difference, but for the sake of argument, they're 99% the same. So now we go to Splice. If you download one...
You know the happy birthday song, like, they don't sing the happy birthday song at a lot of restaurants anymore because that was like a whole big copyright takedown lawsuit.
Melody loop, and someone else goes and downloads that same melody loop. Who owns that melody? Now on Splice, if you go in and download a melody and use it in your track, and someone else downloads that same melody and uses it in their track, because it's royalty-free samples, all should be well, assuming all other things are equal, right? Well, in the case of Daddy Content ID, that is definitely not the case. One of my favorite artists, JViews, has probably one of the most popular packs on Splice. His organic electronic series has received somewhere over 2.5 million downloads, meaning that a lot of damn people have used these same loops and samples. While using a single kick drum sample is really unlikely to get you into legal hot water, using a melody sample can be a very different story, especially when that same sample gets used by an artist who finds massive success with their track. In JViews' organic electronics pack, there's a sample humbly named Tonal Loop Space Melancholy Guitar B minor 150.wave. This sample was eventually used in a track by Lil Baby and Gunna called Drip Too Hard, which now has over 8 billion plays on Spotify. The original loop was at 150 beats per minute and in a key of B minor.
Yeah, check this out. Movie producers and restaurants owners need to obtain a license to broadcast or publicly perform the Happy Birthday to You song. Isn't that ridiculous? That's why they don't sing it. They say like different, they do like variations on it now. The copyright police. That's serious. I mean, you can sing it. You can sing it. This is kind of old actually. This happened like years ago, I think. 2016. Yeah, it was like 2016, I think. Actually, this is looks official. Okay, wait, 2016. It says this is stupid. Yeah. Well, I mean, copyright. It's so crazy how like on top of yeah, it's weird. The music industry is like the tightest, the most strict with copyright laws.
Drip too hard, though, the sample was used at 225 beats per minute and transposed down 5 semitones to make it in the key of F sharp minor. Although this is a more classic case of sampling where the original sample is manipulated slightly, a lot of artists don't go through even these two basic steps to change a sample and simply use it as it is. Before we all get out our pitchforks and break into the boomer weeds of arguing about lazy music and lazy sampling and the ethics therein, it's important to remember that this is what services like Splice are built on. It's the idea that it's totally okay to go in and use any of these samples as is in your music.
Splice is built on being lazy.
Except that it's totally not. If we go back to what we know about copyright in music, melody and substantial similarity are two of the key factors that determine who owns a song. But if two people use the same melody loop, who owns it? Although it is exceedingly unlikely that two artists are going to release identical tracks using samples from a service like Splice or a similar service, and it's even more unlikely that these two artists are then going to get embroiled in a long and expensive legal battle over the fractions of a penny that Daddy Daniel Ek decided to pay them for their artistic toils and labor. The problem emerges when systems like Content ID or other algorithmic...
Yeah, but it's so hard to make your own stuff. It's so hard. It's so hard to make it like really good. To make, yeah, and at one point, I mean, I could be silly and be like, oh, but like you didn't, if you're making it on the computer, you didn't make your computer, right? Which is silly, but it's kind of true. It's like at some point, like where do you draw the line?
or automatic processes are used to determine an arbitrary owner of these things.
I only make music on computers that I built from sand. I created the entire computer, operating system, everything from the raw material.
Robots can't determine context. Robots can't determine if a royalty-free loop was used, and I highly doubt that the manual review team on most platforms understands or even remotely cares about any of this because it is a legal f***ing minefield. Although you are able to submit a dispute if you find yourself in a case like this where you get a claim when using a royalty-free loop, the onus of all this falls on the person receiving the dispute most of the time. And if they choose to not reply and simply ignore it, what are you going to
The atoms? I know. Are we gonna just keep going? Like where do we draw the line?
do about it? By now, YouTube has made it plenty clear that they simply just don't give a shit.
I mean, that's a silly argument, but you know, the arrangement, you know? I mean, people excel at different things. Like here, this is me playing around with arrangements and melodies. But like writing out the melodies is something that people can you know, be drawn towards or what they specialize in. Bass lines, whatever. Some people get into synthesizers and like really into the science, technical stuff of this. Synthesizers and setting up different modulators that like trigger different things. I mean, it goes back to like to each their own. But for me, I find it incredibly hard to create entire pieces if I have the mentality of I'm going to make every single element by hand. Using samples to me is not a problem if you take... Plus, I mean, there's more to it though. There's so much more to it. It's like even if you get the right samples, you still have to put them through processing. You have to put them in the mix. And then you have to mix them down. After you have put them into this arrangement that makes sense musically. And within there's a lot. And then you have to mix it down. And then you have to do like mastering, which in itself is a whole nother thing. There's just a lot to it. That it's like, I don't know. There's shortcuts. Why not take them? I mean, I'm talking from like, I used to spend like many days inside of Ableton playing around with like every single thing for like years. Like I got lost in Ableton for a long time. Then I made quite a few different songs and figured out how to make like different elements and put it together in bigger pieces. But if I could do it again, I'd probably approach it about how I'm talking now, which is like try to build out the whole composition, just block it out. And then if you want, you could go back and kind of fill out the details and like tweak the settings. But usually it seems like the approachable way is that you just go into it and you start with like a synth or something, and then you like go into that synth and you play around and try to make it like it, and then you get kind of on a detour and learn about synthesizers, and then you forget that you were trying to make a composition, and that's okay. At least that's how I did it at the beginning. But I just wish I was more like objective about it at the beginning, and I wish I had been using more samples, and that I didn't have the mentality of like samples bad. Reset's bad. I think that's for me.
Iconic sample flip of 2013.
That's gonna get me copy strike, probably. I was watching a video on Charlie Puth and how he makes the sound to make them unique and make them sound different. This one, old ass sample. Okay, let's see.
Is this the most iconic sample flip of 2013?
Patience. I know. Okay, I can't play more than 6 seconds or else the YouTube police will come and arrest me. The copyright people will bust through my door. But I know that song. Sampling. I like sampling. Cutting and weaving. This is the sampling that I like. Sampling's cool. Again, I don't know. I just don't think the whole copying is one thing, but sampling, that's kind of what incremental, like, or how music evolves, evolution, right? The Charlie Puth I was talking about.
I love plugins. Nice.
In this studio deep dive, we take a close look at Charlie Puth's production process and discover 5 of his hottest tips, guaranteed to make your track sound bigger and better than ever. Not only do we hear Charlie give us insights into his methodology and thought processes as he built a brand new song from scratch, we'll also see him using and talking about some of his favorite plugins, what they do, how to use them in interesting ways, and how ultimately they can be the difference between a good sounding track and a world-class production. Let's dive in.
Okay, so I could easily play that in on MIDI like this. 2, 3. You could do something like this, like. But in my mind, and Benny Blanco always told me this, like record each note separately, then you have individual control over each note. So I'm gonna like take my time and just play the F. And then I'm gonna play the A flat. and now the E flat, and now the C, and then the A flat, and then I could easily copy and paste the other F, but I'm going to play it for different velocity. And now, and then. So now, I'm just going to quantize these just so they're on the grid. I'm going to print it to audio since I hate MIDI. I've just never liked it. I always work using audio and like trimming it and adjusting the attack and the sustain just feels so final. I don't know. So
I mean, he's, you know, he's Charlie Puth, so respect to him. But
see that little transient right there, I'm going to trim that up and kind of just make it a little, take the click off so you can, and I want to kind of fade it out a little bit because in my mind from this voice note I was doing a little bit shorter, so I'm going to just do that here as well. I'll make it bigger. There we go. Ooh. Ding. That's good. I always commit it. I don't know. You don't have to. It's just something I've always done. I'm gonna do the same thing with this A flat here. Oh, I'm gonna drag it. Hold on a second. And look, now it's not gonna tail over anything. Just fix that little fade. See, it's like going up so you can kind of hear the click a little bit. So I'm just going to do a gentle crossfade. Here's it without the click. Nice and clean. I'm going to do that here too with this. The most important thing for me is making like the rudimental sounds, like don't worry about the clicks later. Just make it super clean from the beginning because it'll actually inspire a melody if what you hear sounds like a final product. Get that. I could easily just like highlight them all.
let's find some samples. Pro Tools MIDI doesn't have articulations and he's doing it manually. Yeah, I don't know about... I don't know. But let's find... Oh, actually I got sounds. No.
I can see the way.
Actually, I think if we do, I think... Have you ever heard of Oliver New Disco? I feel like that's... I should just get the entire thing of Oliver collections. You use Looper, man. Pro Tools MIDI, most don't have articulation and he's doing it manually. So you're saying articulation. I mean,
Hi,
the
my name.
oh, here, let me show you what I usually do for articulation. If you have this, that's why, I mean, just find a VST. But a lot of these have articulation in the velocity. If we like find a pluck. No. So depending on the velocity, you can, how do you do this? Let me see. If I set up like a little pattern. It sounds like you're fighting. Fighting what? What, from typing? From like putting this in? Yeah, so this velocity, if you, what is it? How do you do this again? I'm trying to remember. It's been a while with my keyboard. Velocity, you connect the velocity to, if we have like a, what is it? If we connect the velocity with like the filter or something, I'm trying to remember how to do this. It's been a while. MIDI learn. Velocity filter, velocity. Man, trying to remember how to set up the velocity. Anyways, it's so that you set the idea is that you set the velocity to what you're calling articulation, and then you can change these around like this. And then there's also, when you're recording in, if you have a device like a MIDI device, it will have the articulation that you're talking about. But if I could demonstrate that, that'd be probably much better than talking about it. Velocity. Man, I forget how to do this. Let me. It's tying the velocity. What is it? It's in here. That's why I got to take this AU5 course. Got to refresh or just learn it properly. I'm fairly new to producing. Most of my life was spent singing and then playing guitar. Well, that's the articulation. I promise you it's in this area. I'm struggling to set it up, to connect it right now. But yeah, it's tying this velocity to parameters that when you So it's like trigger, it's hitting harder, like as you go up along this, and you can also make it sort of bend. But that's the idea. Is connecting the velocity to what you're calling the articulation. Yeah, we'll speed run it. Let's speed run it. We'll get splice. We need splice. Where is it? Actually, we don't need to get into this. I got samples here. Samples, let's do the classics. No, not that. No. We should use splice. What phone? What do you mean? Oh, like Android or what do you mean? I use iPhone. Let's go with what's that guy's? All of it. I want to get their whole pack. How much is this? I think it's like all my credits. Yeah, iMessage. I don't know. iPhone is pretty good. Why? What do you use? See? Let's do like a weird sort of like down tempo rave. I don't know. Yeah, this is gonna be cool. We need some loop here with like a kick and a... Here it is. And then we need here, we could sample. Oh, there we go. Yeah. We need this. You use Xiaomi, really? Wait, where are you? You're in India, right? I had a Xiaomi phone before. See, like, dude, these are the coolest. But we have to pitch shift this. Transpose. What are we? We're in the key of D, which means... Hold up. This is too fast. That's too fast. We need like a slow thing. Yeah, Xiaomi's really good. It is a good company. They make good stuff. Didn't they came out with a smart car? They just came out with a car. They're the second biggest company in phones and stuff. Yeah. We still need a kick sample. See? I'm all about the samples. Dun-dun-dun. It's 10 billion? I thought it was more. I thought it was like 40 billion. Here we can search for drum loop. But I want to search in here. Oh, drums. Okay. This is basically shuffling through sounds. Yeah, well, it's cool because like I haven't heard these sounds before. I don't think this is it either. But I mean, the idea is like you kind of like can build out a groove this way, and then if you want, you can go back and kind of refine it. Now I am not feeling this. Let's switch this out and get a groove going. Grand piano. It's crazy. Okay, let's just see what. I don't know if this is still needed, but if you do this, you set the tempos to what the sample came in at, and then you warp and unwarp it, then you can change it. But you have to do these. I think you have to do that. So 106.67, I guess. I don't know. I don't know, man. It's I'm too rusty. Gotta hit the. It's so hard to do it. The switch between programs like this. I'll see you. Actually, I'm gonna leave it here too. I'm gonna shut off the stream here. All right. Glad we got into Ableton for today. Interesting. Not expecting to go this way, but it is what it is. See you, man. I'm tuning out here too.